So, good afternoon. Welcome to the Showbie stand on BETT 2017, day two. Day two. Day two in the no, it's not the Big Brother house, is it? My name is Joe Moretti, Showbie Champion and Apple Educator. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to the stand. We're going to talk about the features of Showbie, the existing features, and the features actually that are going to be released today. So if you're existing Showbie users, are there any existing Showbie users apart from you? Yes? Oh, anybody else? A couple here? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you some of those new features as we go along, hopefully to keep you here. And I'm just going to start off with this, actually. Something I was thinking about recently with all the schools that I visit. I work in schools right across the UK, throughout Europe, the Nordics, all the way down to South Africa and the Middle East. And it surprises me how many schools don't pay enough attention to their choice of paperless management system. Because those decisions really have to be based on the tools that the paperless management system is providing to enhance the teaching and learning. And whilst that sounds really obvious, actually, that's not what's happening. I get arguments such as, well, it's free, so we're going with that. I've even had the argument, well, we've been using Moodle for 20 years, why would we change it? Really? So those are not good reasons. And particularly with Showbie, it's the range of features it gives me as a teacher to enhance my teaching, and most importantly, have great impact on the learning of the children that I'm looking for. And there are a couple of my favorites there, and I'm showing you that slide because actually, as we implement technology in schools, we get essentially three kinds of reaction to that from teachers. You're always going to get 20–25% who are in there. They are happy with the technology, they're flying with it. We'll have a middle ground, but also there may be 20–25–30% of teachers saying, oh, well, that looks pretty complicated. And how is the paperless management system going to be for me? Because I don't want to see a lot of icons. I don't want to see a lot of complexity. And Showbie delivers all of that in a framework that I'm going to show you right now live with an interface that's really accessible, really simple to use, and have some great tools. Now, what I've also got here, this slide is to remind me to say something to you. First of all, this is my iPad Pro. But if you have your badge scanned by one of the many Showbie team here, you will be entered into a draw for an iPad Pro. Your iPad Pro will not have Lego. This is my Lego, and it's going to stay here. So if you would like to have your badge scanned, please do. I've had my badge scanned 15 times. Next point I want to make is asking you about your iPads. How many of you are using iPads? Okay. How many of you have got one-to-one iPads? Okay, fewer hands there, right? A lot of you are using shared iPads. So I'm going to share with you today, in about 5 minutes, why Showbie is the answer to your shared iPad problem. I mean, if you do some work on iPad number 6, what happens next week when you can't get hold of iPad number 6? I'll show you that in a minute. The next point is that Showbie is available as an app on iPhone. So if you really want to mark some students' work when you're sitting in the cinema, oh yes, I think I'll mark that. Or how many students do you have that have iPhones? Yeah? A lot of them. With Lego? We'll get off the Lego. The other point is that Showbie works on any device. It's totally cross-platform. So if you open up a browser on a Mac, or on a PC, or on a Chromebook, or on an Android tablet, and quite a few people who know me say, oh, I never thought I would see a PC on one of your slides because I'm like an Apple person. Well, let's be honest, the world is cross-platform. And if your students are using an iPad at school, well, maybe with another teacher they might be using a Chromebook, but when they go home, who knows what they're using? So I also use Showbie not just for the impact it has, but because I want compatibility. which leads me to this slide. What I call the holy trinity of apps, with 2 million apps on the App Store, which is fantastic. But so many teachers say, 2 million apps? Where do you think I have time for that? 3 apps is all I need to have high impact on my classroom. I'm going to be showing you Book Creator. If you're not using Book Creator, then you're really making a big mistake. It's a phenomenal app. Showbie sits here at the center of my digital hub, and Explain Everything gives me a whiteboard on my iPad. So I'm going to show these, hopefully if we've got time, inside this presentation. So here's the last slide I want to show you before we actually show you some of the exciting stuff. Now I'm showing you that. That's not every feature. But I'm showing you that because I want you to take in that there's a huge range of features that when I go into Showbie are actually hidden beneath the bonnet. Because if there was a whole load of icons for all of those things, your teachers would be going, which icon do I need now? It's not like that. So the first time you launch Showbie, which is a free download, you tap Sign Up for free. It's a blue screen, and you get 3 options. Teacher account, student account, parent account. When you've worked out which one of those you are, sign up for the teacher account. But in the case of the students, I'd like to ask you a question. How many of you teach primary? The little ones. Okay. So no email is required for a student account. And of course, if they're in primary, we don't want them using their email anyway. So they create an account, you create an account. Now, apart from my little icon picture, you can see my classes. And how many icons can you see? 1. 1 at the top. Can you see that little spanner? Yeah? So if I tap on that spanner, I can create a new class. To be honest, is that not really straightforward? I go New Class, and we'll call this class BETT. Okay, something like that. We'll call it BETT Thursday, okay? What I want you to see is that code, WR9MF, because I write that on the board here, big, big letters. And the students, having signed in, they tap on a similar icon and join my class. And they do that once only. That's it. That's really simple. And then no matter which device they pick up, I showed you all of those devices, once they've logged in, they'll see my class. Okay? So let's just cancel that for the moment and save some time, because I have a demonstration class here, and I want to go into that and ask you what you would normally be doing in a normal lesson. Well, you might be doing what I'm doing now. You might be speaking to your students, looking in their eyes, seeing if there's any recognition of what you're saying. Show stuff. You're smiling and you're laughing because you know it's true, right? Especially Friday afternoon. Not a chance. And actually, at some point, I'm going to ask you to do something. Yeah? Do something? Yeah. Like maybe draw something or write something or whatever. Well, we call that an assignment. 1 icon, there's my assignment. And I can go in here and give the assignment a name. Okay? Now, I'll ask again, because you're an even bigger crowd now, how many of you are existing Showbie users? Existing Showbie users? 1, 2. Okay. Just for you, and but for the rest of you, this is all new. Can you see this new feature here? It says Set Schedule. So I can actually choose the date and time that assignment will go live. And if you're an existing Showbie user, you're going to be going, oh, yes, thank you. Because you might set an assignment for 12 o'clock today, because you're going to be at BETT. And it will go live. How many of you teach the really big students, secondary? Any secondary teachers? Okay, I'm going to share this with you. If I set an assignment, I can also set a schedule to lock it. Friday, 3 o'clock, it's locked. Why? It's called the deadline. You know that thing you don't understand? When I want the work in? Now, if it's locked, they get a big padlock and they can't get into the assignment. But the new feature is this one, which is view only. So they can still see their work, but they can't interfere with it. Right? Really useful stuff. So, setting assignments, really easy. Now, let's just go into an existing assignment and go a little bit further down the route of teaching. How many of you kind of write lots of notes, do some diagrams? Please do this. Once you've finished, don't you just wipe that stuff off? Well, here's the whole basis of how Showbie works. We have a shared folder, and anything I do can be seen by every student. So I might ask the students to illustrate your story. You substitute there what would be meaningful for you. I tap on the word post, and that goes to every student. If I'm doing something, and I'm kind of doing a diagram, if I go to this plus symbol, and by the way, the students have all of these tools. If I then go to the camera and take a picture of what we're doing, and tap Use Photo, and I can then decide to crop that photo because I'm mean. I can. And that would go off to every student in the class. Now, here's the point about that, and I'm going to cancel that before I break the BETT Wi-Fi. The point about that going off to every student, no matter what device they pick up, they log into Showbie, that picture from me is always going to be there, right? So that's great. I want to talk to you about Jim Smith. Jim Smith. You see, when Jim sees a whole load of text, a whole load of instructions, he does tend to freak out a little bit. And I'm going to show you my favorite feature in Showbie. If teaching is about inclusivity, right, then we need to cater for or use tools that are going to cater for the needs of all the students. No? So here's one of them. Voice note. There is no other system that's going to do what I'm about to show you. Hi, Jim. I have to say, that was a great piece of work you did this morning. The illustrations for your story I thought were really exciting. Well done. So in less than 10 seconds, I have given Jim personal feedback. He can hear the inflection in my voice. And if he logs in on a Chromebook or a PC, that audio note will play. And he goes home and says, I want you to hear what the teacher said today. Right? And only Jim gets that because I just tapped on that. So differentiation, which we talk about, Showbie facilitates that. That's the point I'm trying to make about Showbie. This range of tools is really easy to come by, really easy to use in the interface, and it can have high impact for you. So let's go a little bit further. Can I just ask you, how many of you use some sort of cloud-based facility like Dropbox, Google Drive? Okay, so one of the most common questions I get, I've got all these documents, Word, PowerPoint, blah, blah, blah. How do I get them into, right? So it used to be that you did this, and the first steps you're going to want to do, you'll find the app, so you'll install the app on your iPad. So in this case, it'd be Dropbox, and I'll log in, okay? What Showbie now has, directly within it, under that plus symbol, is File. Can you see where it says File at the bottom? So if I tap on this, Dropbox is turning up inside Showbie. The reason I can see it is that this menu, I've switched it on. That's all you have to do. So now, if I tap on Dropbox, go to the file I want to use, any of these files, if I just tap on it, that's now going to every student because I've selected Share Folder. But here's the reality. It's Thursday morning. You turn up for school. I'm picking on the gentleman with the really lovely scarf. You go to this thing called the photocopier. You've got your coffee because you're fourth in the queue, yeah? How many pieces of paper are you going to photocopy for your class? How many students? 25, okay. And You then take those 25 pieces of paper to your students, yes? Okay, off they go. It's now Friday. You ask for your students to give you the work back. How many pieces of paper are you going to get back? 19. Okay, it's a good day. No, but seriously, when those pieces of paper come back, let's be optimistic. Shall we say 24? Yeah? All right? And how many are going to have no name? Right? I know, that's such a good... I love that game. Whose is this one? Who's not here today? Oh, fantastic. You don't know that stuff. That's the trouble. You actually don't know this stuff till you go through each one and mark them off on the register, right? Not anymore. You're going to love this bit. I've got a little demo here just to show you this. I'm going to select Harriet Red. Just going to let this update for a minute and select one that I did earlier. I've set this up just kind of to demonstrate this. Okay. What I want to show you, actually I can do this a slightly different way he thinks about it. What I want to show you is that, first of all, you know when you gave that piece of paper to a student, what can they do within reason with that piece of paper? Read it, write on it, lose it, end of story. So Showbie gives you the amazing tools to literally annotate directly on an image or a PDF, okay? So that's all very well and good. One of the things that people complain about with using an iPad, and I'm going to ask somebody from the Showbie team to throw, no, I've got one here. You know, when they draw on an iPad, they say, I hate it because my writing looks like a 5-year-old's. Okay, have a look at this. I'm going to zoom in here and just start writing with this. And I'm now going to select a thin pen and show you. How does that look? Showbies have been optimized to give legible feedback. It's beautiful. If I zoom out of that, you'll get an idea of the quality of that. But it's the other range of tools that I've got that are really cool. Because I might say to a student, put a post-it note on here and explain the meaning of that paragraph. This means, okay? And I can put as many of these post-it notes on a diagram, an image, anything you like. But I'm saving the best till last. This one. How many of your students are more articulate verbally than with these? Right? All of you are nodding now, so you know what I'm talking about. This is what I love, the fact that Showbie facilitates any student to be able to go, I think this means that the Dowager, when she was talking to the Little Mermaid, meant this, this, and this. That is transformational. That is really exciting. And I can have as many of these as I like. I might even set where I want them to go, so they're contextual. Is that not phenomenal? And you can't do that with a piece of paper. Plus, I saved a lot of trees. Plus, I saved a whole lot of money. Because Showbie have got this little paperless calculator here. And we'll use your school as an illustration to save money. How many teachers in your school? 10. Okay, we'll go with 10 teachers. 25 students, you said. How many assignments do you set or photocopy per week? That's just you. Just give me an average. How many? Twice a day, 10? Okay. So that means for all of those teachers, we've just saved you 6.5K. You can work that out in euros because I can't, or dollars. And the reason I'm showing you that is way over 3 times the cost of Showbie for your whole school per year. And a lot of head teachers go, well, show me where you're saving the money first, and then I'll buy it. Well, we're going to do it, and we're going to save a whole load of paper. Getting back to my class, do you agree that those range of tools is really cool? I've got those tools. The students have these tools. Let's go back to your class where who's given me the work. Are you ready for this bit? Showbie has a lovely system in it called quick marking. I introduced that to a teacher recently, and he said, quick marking? I like the sound of that. Here's the icon for quick marking. And can you see this little paper clip here? It shows you which student has done the work. So immediately, I can say before the end of the lesson, Tom Brown, I have nothing from you. You're not leaving the class yet. See me afterwards. Tom says, I have. Well, I have. No, I haven't. And then if I tap on Sally's, it will update to show me. I've done it with big letters. It will update to show me Sally's. I've done it with big letters just so you can see it's really obvious. Now, as part of this process, we've also got this. Can you see this little star? That adds that piece of work to a thing called portfolio. And that's just another part of Showbie where everything we star is added automatically. Now, do I really have to explain why a portfolio of your best work is a good thing? Which is going to show me chronologically, showing the journey of your best work. Right, we're all there. The other thing that Showbie's got is a built-in gradebook. So I'm going to ask Suzanne, what grading system do you use in your school? Don't think you're going to come to my presentation and just stand there. Okay, a percentage. 1 out of 7. Okay, we'll give this person 5. And I can put 5 out of 7. Showbie doesn't care whether you use A, B, C, or whatever. Okay? So in this case, we're going to have 5 out of 7. And we could say, very good, try harder, whatever you want. I tap revise because I'm changing this. I want you to see what happens from this one icon. Do you remember the one icon we've been using? Here it is. Export grades. So now my gradebook is totally electronic as well. I'm going to select email. And we've got the group's spreadsheet. And that file will load into Excel, numbers, Control A, Control C, and I paste it into my master gradebook. So now I am totally paperless. And if I want to email that to myself or to the head of department, I can do it. Yes? Great. Can I just direct you now, if we go back here to the class, to a new feature at the top of the list. Can you see where it says class discussion? Now, there are quite a few systems that do what I'm about to show you. The trouble is, when you open it up as an open area, it's open. If I want to have a class discussion, I tap on Allow Posts, and now the students can throw text, images, files in here, and they can all see it. Now, you did a great piece of work last lesson. You want to take a picture of your book, and there it is. And we can collaboratively, or as a group, give you feedback. Now, here's the cool thing. You looked at that piece of work, and you said, I really like that. And you tap on it, and you save it to your camera roll, or whatever else it is. You feel good because somebody else likes your piece of work, and I am now capitalizing on working as a group. At the end of the lesson, though, some teachers have said, I don't want this to carry on. I want to be able to control it. Well, it's that difficult. I've just paused it. That little button there, top right, gives me that control. Is that not phenomenal? Very simple to do. So, do you remember earlier when I was starring Sally's work? Well, let's imagine it's one of my favorite evenings of the year. It's called the Parents' Evening. You know that one? I love those. And the people sit in front of you, and we decide Mr. and Mrs. Brown. So I search for the student and select him. And any classes I do with Tom, there they are. I can go in there. Any piece of work, anything at all. However, the portfolio highlights all of Tom's best work. He's only got one piece from November, and there it is. So it's accessing this stuff really quickly. That's really powerful. Yeah? So I've just selected students here. I was on classes. Now I'm going to go into another new feature called groups. And I'm just going to tap on new group because I want you to see the list that comes up. In a group, you can have only teachers, teachers and students, so that might be like an after-school club, teachers, students, and parents, because next July, we've got a trip to Holland, and I'm going to drop the letter in there that I need back from you You know the one that you said your child didn't bring home? It's in the bottom of the bag with the squash banana? Yes. Everything I want. And then, if I create this group, parents can post messages. Are these the best shoes for going on the trip? How much money should they have? Etc., etc., etc. Can you think about other uses for the group? You could have a group for a key stage team. Just a key stage team that teach English or science. You could have a group that has every single teacher in it, which could be like a social group. Friday is cake day. It's your turn to bring the cakes. Okay? So groups are really flexible, and the mix of people, and you can switch those things on and off as you like at any time. Now, I said I wanted to address shared iPads as part of this presentation, and I'm going to do that while talking about Book Creator. Book Creator is a phenomenal application, and I just want to show you two very contrasting examples. Because I have quite a few teachers saying to me, it's a primary tool. It's a child's tool. Well, I find that it's actually the expectation you set that determines the quality of the work you get. So this work is from an A-level student, and I just want to show you the quality of this work. That's Book Creator. And I think that's pretty phenomenal. But it could equally well be a science project, numeracy, history. This piece of work is from a 7-year-old. Now, the problem that some schools are saying they face is that if a student takes an iPad off the iPad trolley and creates a book or a picture or whatever, when they come back out of those 30 iPads, where's my work? Which iPad was I using? And here's the answer. You ready? They select this icon. This is the most important icon on an iPad. Do you know its name? You're not allowed to answer, and you're not allowed to answer. Okay? I had a teacher say to me, it's the get it out of there, put it into somewhere else. And I said, yeah, that works for me. It's also called the share icon. And all you have to do is tap on it, and we're going to export that book as an EPUB, okay? And they'll select, in this case, Showbie. Now, I've worked with a teacher recently with his 6-year-olds in his class, shared iPads. The iPads sit on the desk. And he said, you know, I've taught you to learn your Showbie login. Whenever you want to save something, pick up the iPad. Don't ask me. Log into Showbie, save the work, log out. They're 6. And if you don't think 6-year-olds can cope, try giving a DVD remote to a 2-year-old and watch what happens, because I can't operate it, but they can. Logging in and out is nothing to them. So the student logs into Showbie and selects Showbie from Book Creator and sends their book there. They then pick up an iPad, any iPad on this planet, download Showbie, log in, and their book will be there. So what I'm going to do is just pop back to my class. I'm in groups, and show you a small thing about this that I hope you're going to like in terms of Book Creator and Showbie. Oh, I didn't really want that book. I have another one. Let's hope that one. There we go. Showbie is optimized for the books coming from your students. Any audio will play. Any videos will play. And you can mark the work directly then and there. So the whole workflow is optimized for impact on your teaching space, yet still remaining very simple. It gives you a gradebook, annotations, all the things that you want for your classroom. But I keep emphasizing the point, it's really simple to use. My name's Joe Moretti. Thank you very, very much for listening. Are there any questions about Showbie or what's happening with it before we finish? Well, otherwise, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you again at... we can do that again, actually. For those that haven't heard this, if you get your badge scanned, you can win one of these, an iPad Pro, not this one. And while we're on that slide, there are some leaflets here. We've got some video tutorials for Showbie. There are two of them. They're both on the App Store. But if you want to become a Showbie Ninja, it's not difficult. These will help you. And again, I'll say thank you very much. Speak to you later. Thank you.